sorry I woke up. This time we are doing it very early, which is good. You did not complain, and I liked it, because when I do request people to come over, they say time, and then it is like, oh, it's too early. Oh, this time let's change, but you're able to adjust. So I would really like to welcome you today. We are honored, guys, to have Elizabeth again with us, with over 10 years with ABA, that is Applied Behavior Analysis. She has been a teacher for over 15 years as an educator. She has dedicated her life to helping individuals, especially those with learning and development challenges, to live more functional lives. She believes every person can learn with the right environment and support. And today she's here to help us understand behavior in a way that can truly transform our lives. So guys, let's give her a warm welcome. Thank you, Elizabeth. Your story. Then we're gonna start with the question part. Thank you, guys, and thank you so much for the love I see over here. Thank you, Mercy. Let's go on behavior. I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Not yet. Oh my goodness, what happened to this microphone? Have you attached to it? Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Loud and clearly, great. Good morning, everyone, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We are on an international platform, so various times for various people. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, and I'm always happy to share my knowledge about behavior. So, Coach, thank you again for inviting me. And yes, I have been in the field of applied behavior analysis for over 9 years, and I've been in education since 2004. So I've always worked around children. I started off working for AmeriCorps, which is like the domestic version of the Peace Corps, in 2004. And after I worked there, I decided that I wanted to go into teaching. So teaching is something that runs, like the actual love for teaching runs in my family. My father was an educator, my sister is an educator, and my mom also was an educator. So it's just something that my family has loved to be around, just around children, around families. And I advanced my career after receiving my teaching certificate. I taught in urban settings, like public schools, charter schools, which are a company version of a district public school, is run by universities or other businesses, and they have specific focuses for the children's curriculum. But after teaching, I knew it was more that I wanted to do. And so that is when in 2018, I finished my certification in applied behavior analysis, and I became a board certified behavior analysis and analyst, board certified behavior analyst in 2021. So I have been board certified for 5 years in May, and I am now serving in the Metro Atlanta population. So right now my clientele is here in Atlanta, Georgia. I help children live functional lives. That's just basically what I do. And with a child involved, you have family involved. So my reach is not just to the child, my reach is to the family. With that, a lot of people don't really understand what autism spectrum disorder is, and that's what I'm here to explain to you and educate you. So if you can imagine a rainbow. So a rainbow has many dynamics, many colors, many rays of light coming through the rainbow, where we see the rainbow in different points at different angles in different ways. So if you can imagine that, children that have been diagnosed with
Just a
autism
minute,
spectrum
Elizabeth.
disorder.
Sorry for interrupting you. Guys, I need 2 roses from different people so that I finish my goal. I wanted to finish fast before we get started. I've just noticed we didn't finish. So if you did not give me a rose, guys, if you did not give me a rose, please do so that I'm able to finish up my flash goal. Because it's remaining how long? I think it's a few seconds remaining. Let me check it out. Okay. I don't know if they've given me more minutes, but anyway, guys, help me complete that. Good. Now we can move on. It's accomplished. Thank you so much. Sorry for interrupting you, Liz. You can continue.
Yes,
Before you continue, I've just realized that this is your passion. It runs through the family, like teaching, right?
yes, ma'am.
It's not only a career, but it's something you love doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Continue.
You often talk about purpose and passion,
I
and
know. Yeah, but majority of people, I want to make it clear, because some people may think it's all about career. They might think it's about career, but I want it to be clear that sometimes somebody can do a career. They can scale what they love. And the beauty about you, it runs in the family. And I've been also talking to them, look at what people do in your family. That's why you also get your purpose. That's how you find yourself as well. So something running through the family can also be, it's not like it's automatic, but it can be part of you. All right, thank you. You can go on.
yes, it also helps us to prepare ourselves to determine if we're good at it. So just because it runs in your family, sometimes you want to stray away from what your family is doing if you still feel that it's not something that you personally can see yourself achieving, or this may not be a career route that you want to take. And so by education, that's a broad field, and you can do a lot of things with the educating people. So education is I love to learn. And so, yeah, it runs in my family. My family kind of is I guess you can say it cultivated me to be who I am. However, I developed a passion to understand behavior even as a child, because I always seem to be around children that misbehave a lot, including myself when I was younger in middle school. And so understanding behavior is a purpose-driven focus for me as you coach people on purpose and understanding their purpose. But what I can say, understanding myself first and understanding my behavior has helped me understand others. So yes, it is a purpose-driven career that I taught, but you can turn your passion and your purpose into profit. So I was briefly telling your audience about the understanding of how children are unique, even when they're diagnosed with developmental disabilities or disorders such as autism spectrum disorder. And it also, if you picture a rainbow, it's likened to, and it can be compared to a rainbow. Rainbows have different colors, different rays, and just like a rainbow has a spectrum, the diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder is compared or often likened and compared to a spectrum, because there are many disabilities within the spectrum, but there are also many abilities within the spectrum.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, when we come to skill deficits versus behavior problem, what exactly are we getting into?
Yes. So when we talk about a skill deficit, a lot of the clients that I see, they have skills. Some of them need more development because they have not been in an environment that is conducive to them learning the way that they need to learn. So when you talk about a skill deficit, it exists because you can't perform it. So for instance, TikTok live, going live. I am not fluent in TikTok lives right now. And so that skill is a deficit for me. It's not that I never will learn it, but as of right now, going live is a deficit because I have not practiced. I have not got all the information that I need. But what I am doing today is co-hosting with you. So that's helping me develop my skill, and sitting under a coach is also good. So a deficit versus a behavior problem. That's the question you asked. So a deficit is something you just can't perform. Not that you won't ever perform, but you need skills to be taught. It's just like in school. If you've never learned your alphabet, it's not that you won't ever learn them, but you just need the skills. You need the prompting. We call it least to most prompting. So you need prompting or cues to help you learn it. And then also you need modeling. So no matter what your child's ability or disability, they always look to parents and look to others around them for them to model certain behaviors. And so when you talk about a deficit, it's something you can't perform at all because you don't have the wherewithal or the training to perform it. And then a behavior problem, you ask, what is the difference? It occurs because the skill.
Thank you. You can go on.
They possess the skill, but they don't know how to use it consistently. So a behavior problem or a behavior challenge would be, for instance, I may not be able to go live all the time. So maybe my live starts and then it stops, or my live starts and I only stay on for like 30 minutes. So I have like an inconsistency. And so therefore I would say it's a behavior challenge for me. And one way to develop that skill is to practice, is to follow someone else, like co-hosting, is to see someone model for me what to do to get support. So that is the main difference between a deficit, something that's not, we call it in your repertoire or in your ability to perform. And then a behavior problem is you may know some of the parts to perform the action, but you just aren't consistently performing the action. So you are having a challenge or behavior crisis because it's not consistently demonstrated.
Wow. That is something new to me. I could not put it the way you're putting. I did not even know it's a science. Oh my goodness. Wow. So a skill not learned is a deficit, right? It's like the way you have said, you have not gone live, so you have deficit on that particular area, but you can learn and be able to achieve it. But since you have not yet learned it, you cannot perform it because you need some skills. You need to be guided. Is that correct? Did I get you correct?
Yes. I need practice. I need to sit and understand what is exactly expected of me. And it's the same with children. And then also imitation. So in the field of ABA, which is applied behavior analysis, we look at children's ability to imitate. So most children who have not gotten a developmental disability diagnosis, they can imitate. So if you see children early on, they're babbling or cooing. You say, mama, the child usually, or the infant is saying, mom, or they're trying to imitate or repeat what you're showing them. So we identify students that have challenges because as you're teaching these skills, you're exposing your child to certain skills and they're not quite catching on. then we need to look at, okay, is it a skill deficit or is it a disability or not having enough support to learn what they need to learn?
All right. Guys, remember, if you have any question, you write them down so that as we continue, you can ask your question and it can be answered right here. So thank you so much for the guys who have just joined. I appreciate you. You're welcome. Make sure you're active. You like the live stream, you comment, you share as well. My moderators, thank you for the good job. You can still continue moderating because I need to listen this. We all need to listen this, right? Yeah. Now, when we talk about the science behavior as communication, we term it as a behavior is repetitive or it triggers specific situation. When does this happen? Sometimes it happens when someone is overwhelmed. These triggers. Can we talk about that?
Yes. So your question was understanding. Let me see what I have down here. You said signs of behaviors. If a need is unmet, how do you tell if someone's need is not behavior unmet?
You're breaking, Elizabeth.
Okay. So you can look at.
You're breaking. You can come again. You're breaking. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So the signs that a need is unmet is, like we just talked about briefly, is your behavior, your outward expression, what people can observe and see. And so one of the ways that we know, not just children, even adults, a need is unmet is lack of communication. So being able to communicate is how we get our needs met, either non-verbally. A baby may reach for something. They may want to touch something. They might touch your shoulder or tap you. As an adult, we learn to say, excuse me, or we learn appropriate ways in a communication community or a way that we're communicating with our community, and appropriate ways to say, I need help, I don't understand. A child that may need a little bit more support, they may show triggers. So they may start tapping their head, or they may hanging or something, or they may start actually punching somebody. And they're not trying to hurt them, but that is one way that they've learned to communicate. And so you look at the triggers, we call it precursors. So before that behavior escalates or goes to another level, how can you tell that their need is not met? Look at their body language, look at their facial expression, look at what they're trying to say non-verbally. All communication is not verbal. So those are ways that we can see that something is not met. And more importantly, younger children, we're talking about ages 2 to maybe 5, they will cry. So they will cry if they still have not gotten their needs met. They may start tantruming. They may start falling out on the floor. They may amp it up even more until what they are asking is met, or you communicate an alternative to what they're asking.
So it's good to be cautious. It's good to be keen with the reaction, with the behavior, not as much as the way it comes out verbally, because some can talk, but the reaction, the way they're behaving. So that is what you especially look at, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So how do we shift from punishment to reinforcement?
Great question. So the way in which we understand punishment is added or taken away environmental things so that a behavior can decrease. So if you're adding things to your child's environment and hoping that their behavior decreases and it doesn't decrease, you're not using punishment. You're actually using reinforcement. If it increases, you are reinforcing. For example, if every time your child asks for a snack, they're in the kitchen sitting at the table and they want a specific snack, and you notice that it's not time for them to have a sweet, and you're saying, no, you can't have it right now, later, and they begin to start tantruming, you're actually seeing them tantrum often when you tell them no. That is reinforcing their behavior. So what we want to look at when we talk about punishment and reinforcement, is the behavior increasing or continuing, or is it slowly fading away, or is the child stopping the undesirable behavior? So when you go from punishment to reinforcement, you're teaching. So here we go again, back to your first question about skill deficit. You want to teach skills that the child lacks or is not consistently performing. So when you teach that, reinforcement is a hallmark, and one of the most powerful ways to teach is to use praise, is to use, oh, good job, I love you, mommy loves you, you're doing a wonderful job. I know it's hard or challenging to sit and wait for a minute, but you're waiting really well. So using that reinforcement to shape their behavior. And your question is, how do you shift from punishment to reinforcement? You have to begin to explain the expectation, model the expectation, show them what your expectation is very important. Children are young, they're a sponge. Whatever they're taught and whatever is around them, that's what they pick up on. And when you're modeling that and you reinforce it, then you slowly fade out the punishment part or the undesirable part. You have to use more reinforcement than punishment, depending on the behavior, in order to shape what you want as a parent or what you want as a caregiver to see with your child. So we say in the field of applied behavior analysis, behavior flows where reinforcement goes. So if you reinforce them, the desired behavior that you have for your child is going to be more evident, and they're going to begin to show you that they can do the skill that you want them to do. You fade it by reducing the amount of punishment and increasing the amount of positive affirmation, positive encouragement, positive rewards. And then ultimately, in the middle, you want to model and teach them if they don't know the skill at all.
So yeah, we really need like guidance. That's what you're saying. It's more of guiding somebody. It's more of guidance, right? Thank you.
Guide them and then stepping back. So as parents, you want to train your child to be as independent as possible, because the parent is not going to always be around. Just like the teacher is not going to always be around, or the caregiver. In the absence of adults, children will do what they are taught to do at home. And so we see that we see that all around us. We see it in the media. And so when your parent is not around, hopefully they give you enough skills and training when they are around so that you do the right thing and make the right choice when you get older and then become adult.
So does this only apply to people who are handicapped, or am I using the right word? Or it applies to everyone when you talk about
when you talk about when you talk about the field of applied behavior analysis, it's a behavior science, and therefore it is not just for students who have developmental disabilities. This practice of applied behavior analysis is one of the most research-based, meaning that we don't just come up with these solutions to behavior problems. They are researched, they're analyzed, and they're studied, and it's clinical research. So it's not just talk therapy without research behind it. So it's a field of psychology. So that means that it's certified and it's clinically approved and proven. So these techniques that we use are the most effective ways to treat developmental disabilities. However, applied behavior analysis can help any adult, any child with or without a developmental disability or behavior challenge.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. And Mirabel, can you do CTAs first before we continue? Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for educating us. I know this topic can be a bit difficult for people, but guys, if you have any question, make sure you're writing it down so that as we continue, you're going to ask. The ones who are joining, the new people who are joining in, I feel much welcome. We have Elizabeth over here. We are finding purpose in behavioral analysis. She has her ABA, so she's able to help us understand our behaviors and know how to help also others, our young ones, in any conditions. Thank you so much. Mirabel, are you ready to do that?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to Coach's live stream, Elizabeth. We're happy to have you here, and God bless you. So, guys, I would like to talk about engagement, right? Our likes and our comments are a bit epileptic, right? So, I'd like to talk about engagement so that we can know things to do. Currently, we're having 30K, and I don't know how many hours we are in here, so we need to do better than that. We need to do better than that. So let's talk about engage. Okay, it's 40 now. So let's talk about engagement. We have 5 ways we could engage on the live stream and 4 ways we could engage on the post. So I'm going to talk about the live stream so that we can kickstart this. Sorry about the background noise, but just bear with me while I continue. Okay, so we have 5 ways. One is by you tapping, engaging, by you tapping, commenting, connecting, right? Sharing and loving up the house. So for you to tap, you just tap gently on your screen. Don't tap too hard so that you don't break this, the face of your screen, right? Just tap gently. As you are tapping, you will be. As you are tapping, is it my, I'm saying blur face around, okay. So as you are tapping, right, you will be seeing some love signs populating. That's showing you that you're tapping rightly. So let's see if we could get this while I'm talking to like 60, 80K guys. We can do it. We are better than this, right? So let's tap. While you are tapping, do not forget, because when you tap and you don't do others, TikTok is going to send you to a correction center. You know, TikTok is a disciplinarian. They can easily send you to a correction center. So when you tap, please endeavor immediately to write at the comment section, oh, I like this behavioral topic, right? I'm enjoying it. You just be putting, most time when she says something, she says, we teach them this. You write it down, teaching them to understand. You are communicating. You are also reiterating what she has said. And our speaker, you could help by telling us, can everybody write on the comment section, communication? You know, when you tell us that, it sticks to our head, right? And we are equally communicating. So that is you you writing on the commenting. So there's another one, connecting. You look around, you see a tiny plus sign after everybody's username. Those people you have not connected to, click on the tiny plus sign and do what? Connect to them. Then you click on the arrow button. Once you click on it, you see a lot of people in your contact. Share to them. We only have 27 amazing people watching from the viewers' eyes. let's share to so many other persons. This topic is a very interesting topic and we need others to learn. So by sharing, you're telling them, come in and enjoy with us. We've got a lot on our table. Come and take some. We are not stingy, which let me see everyone doing that. Just share, click and share to everybody. Then the last one is loving up the house. It is very important. Tito says, if you do 4 and you don't do the number 5, then you are not a good engager. So when you come into the house, make sure you do these 5 things at the same time. We are not imposing you to do it more than maybe, Mirabel is doing it bigger than this. But just do. Once you do it, you are a good engager. So these 5 things I've said, loving up, you could see Rose there. Our speaker is really speaking well. We can just say, oh, I give you Rose. You know, it is loving of the house. So let's do this, guys. Thank you as you listen. I will say the other one, not to keep the speaker waiting, but let's take this tab to 60K. I'm checking. Let's take it to 60K. If you want to start, speaker, you can start, but I might just ask for your interruption if it's not moving, but if it's moving, will be good. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Enjoying the class.
I've been looking for my notes, Elizabeth. You have my notes and you're not telling me. I've been struggling, but thank you so much. All right, Elizabeth, we have been talking about experience in ABA and how you distinguish between a skill deficient and a behavior problem. We have also talked about the sense of a child or individual misbehaving, that actually communicating is a deeper unmet need through behavior. And also, the question which I was really looking for is, how can teachers and parents shift from punishment-based responses to reinforcement-based understanding without like they are losing control? And that is where we were at. So I was like, where are my notes? My mind is, so I shared my notes with you. I'm sorry about that. You can continue. Did you see my notes with you or you did not?
Yeah, I saw them. Can you?
I'm so sorry. Ignore my notes. I'm so sorry. Please ignore my notes. All right.
Why
You can continue.
I said she must have written these notes for herself.
Oh my
So yes, I
goodness.
have the notes, but I'm.
They're rough.
Don't listen. Don't worry about them.
They are rough things, so don't even pay attention to them. They're not like excellent,
Okay.
you know. Yes.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
Okay. So you do have your own copy, right? Because it has the questions that you're asking.
Yes, and it is a rough draft. It was a rough draft, so don't ignore it completely, please. Ignore it completely.
Okay.
It might confuse you because you're an expert in that area. I'm not an expert, so if you read my notes, you will mess your presentation up. So, guys, I'm sorry. All right, we can continue. We'll continue from the place we left. How can teacher and parents shift from punishment-based responses to reinforcement based understanding with feeling like they're not losing control? Because sometimes you want to take control as a parent, as a teacher, but you lose control because you don't understand your student, you don't understand your child. How do you, so that you come with that understanding, so that you at the same time don't lose control, because you're trying to understand the child. At the same time, you don't want to for them to overrule you, you know?
Yes, and that is practice and making sure that they understand you and your expectation and talking with them and modeling, again, demonstrating what you expect them to do. One of the skills that we teach children in my practice is activities of daily living, which is an example of that, which is like teeth brushing. So some children, they don't know how to brush their teeth. Even the younger ones learning, like never had the skill, never understood it. So we start with a lot of support with us modeling, with us showing them, with us having positive reinforcement in the restroom, in the bathroom, having bubblegum toothpaste that they like. We don't want them to eat the toothpaste, so much of it, but they will taste it while they're learning how to brush their teeth. But having that support, the more the support that they have and the more that you are able to support them and then know when to step back as a parent when they're getting the skill, that is going to be your basic understanding of how well you taught them as a parent. Are they able to do it when you're not around? Are they able even to try when you're not around? And after all of this, like you asked before, how do we know that their needs are met? Because they're happy. Children love to be happy. They don't have bills to pay. They don't have mortgages to pay. So their life is precious because they are dependent on adults. But naturally speaking, most children are happy when their needs are met, when they're loved, when they're in the right supportive environment. So you can see it in their body language. You can see it in their face. You can see it in how they relate and talk to you as a parent.
Thank you so much. So we are not only, I know you have specialized on autism children, but this one is not only for those ones, it's for everybody, right?
Yes, so the field of behavior analysis, or ABA, is a evidence-based practice. It's for treating individuals, not just children, with developmental disabilities. However, applied behavior analysis within the field, you can use that for every behavior challenge or behavior intervention that you want to reduce and shape or mold or model how to appropriately behave. So it also in the field, we have a section of the field or a specialty called OBM, Organizational Behavior Management. And so it is not just for, again, students that have disabilities. This is a field of applied behavior analysis that they use in corporations and companies to increase employee retention, employee behaviors, acceptable and appropriate communication within a larger organization. So organization, business management, OBM, not behavior management, business management is a very, not fluent field, I'm sorry. It's a very practiced extension of ABA. And people know about it in corporations and they use it in corporations to shape, like I said, desirable behavior and to decrease undesirable behavior.
Thank you. Guys, remember, if you have any question, write it down. If you have any question, it's good to write it down as we move on with your question. So, Elizabeth, you have worked with the patterns of the environment that consistently produce positive behavior change. Please give us some examples.
So environmental patterns that I see that produce positive behavior change when I go into a daycare or I go into a school setting and I want to observe my client, I want to see what is going on in the environment around them. So we are a product of our environment, meaning the people that we're around, educators that we are taught by, as well as our friends in our community. I want to see clear routines and expectations for children. Children are very impressionable and their brains are like a sponge. They soak up so much information around them. And as much as we would like to think that all adults have the same expectations of children, they do not. So when I go into an environment that is new to the child and new to myself, and I'm observing my clients, I want to see clear expectations, meaning pictures around the classroom. I want to see visual diagrams of what the behavior expectation is, and I want to see schedules. The schedule that a child sees and understands when they're in an environment is so important because it helps them have a sense of security that they can predict what is going to happen next. When they are able to predict what is going to happen next, it reduces anxiety. And it also reduces any feelings of abandonment or neglect. So when children understand, oh, we're going to leave at this time and we're going to come back at this time, they feel safe around you. They feel safe around other people. When you consistently let them know, you may have a schedule up or at home, even you can just have by their nightstand, just a routine. It doesn't have to be the same every day. However, it needs to be something that they can look before you know it. They'll be holding you as the parent or the adult accountable to the schedule. So I want to see clear routines, practicing with them, fire drills, for instance. Teachers, no matter what type of classroom, they have to have a certain number of fire drills rehearsed and practiced with the children for safety concerns. They have schedules up, visual schedules, time schedules, and again, clear expectations. So making sure that these things are predictable measures in an environment is so important to their safety, their sense of security, and their sense of belonging.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Farms. I see you. Thank you. I know you've been in the platform for some time, and thank you so much. All right. As we continue talking about this issue, guys, if you have a question which is you're under pressure that you don't want to wait, you can still let us know as we continue. So we are learning how to deal with kids, how to deal with people around us. An environment is important, just as the same way our environment is important to help us mentally. The same applies to our kids, despite if they have abilities to do or they have disabilities. So the environment is important so much. What is surrounding them, who are surrounding them, it's very important. My next question to you: how do early childhood experience influence long-term behavior patterns, and how can these patterns truly be written in an adult?
So early childhood experiences are so vital to long-term behavior or adult behavior because we know what you learn as a child, you demonstrate as an adult. And we also understand that our world is shaped by our childhood experiences. A lot of the times when you talk to adults who have had trauma or some type of event, life event that have either affected them emotionally and they can't get past it, sometimes it's rooted in unresolved trauma or unresolved pain from their childhood. Children are impressionable and their brains are like sponges. We call it in the field of ABA a zone of proximity. So they have a specific amount of time as a child. Their nerves and their neurons in their brain are we call it plasticity, where they can be developed. Even through trauma, children can be resilient and they can learn. However, as adults, they have to have the amount of support from us. And then as they get support and as they become resilient, they're able to, in their adulthood, learn to move past trauma. So when we talk about early childhood experiences, we want stable reinforcement. So stable praise, love, affection, being able to affirm a child. Children look up to their parents and male children look up to their fathers for affirmation. Good job, boy. That's my boy. You know, wearing their accomplishments on your chest as a father, showing that you're proud of them, goes a long way for a child. responsive caregiving. So responsive parenting. A lot of parents understand this new model or generation of gentle parenting is not what they've had when they were growing up, and they don't want to adopt that. You don't have to adopt gentle parenting, but some keys of gentle parenting is being able to open communication and communication lines with your children. So whatever, different strokes, as I say, for different folks, whatever works for your household is what works for your community, is what works for your family. However, opening up communication for your child, knowing that they can come to you, is very key, so that when they're an adult, they know that they can come to you as, and that you can help navigate some problems or challenges that they may have, and they still maintain their independency and they grow as an adult. So we talk about stable reinforcement. Children respond to reinforcement. They respond to responsive caregiving, getting involved with your child, getting down on their level so they can make eye contact with you, see and understand you, and then being consistent in your expectations. That is so key for children, making sure that you also help them to regulate their emotions. This is one of the things that I can just repeat myself multiple times about. So emotional regulation is what we help children identify and help children learn if they don't have the skill. When you're upset, a lot of times it's not necessarily time to tell someone to calm down. I don't know, even as an adult, the worst thing you could tell someone that's upset is just calm down, calm down. What you can do is show them before they get to that point where they're triggered or escalated, how to breathe. So if everyone puts your hands on your lap and you take a deep breath, hold it for about 2 seconds, and exhale. As your mind gets more oxygen, you're able to think more logical. So when children are taught this early on, breathing, deep breathing, maybe children even understanding other practices depending on what they do. I went to a school one time and they were teaching children yoga. So that's stretching and building endurance, and more importantly, learning how to calm your central nervous system down. Emotional regulation is so key. And if a child is taught that early on, it helps them be able to see when they themselves are getting triggered and how to walk away, step away. It's a great conflict resolution skill to have. And it's a great way to show maturity as you get older by being able to control your own behavior and control it at a level of maintaining your composure or maintaining your behavior that is appropriate for that setting. So many people, they don't even think that this is something that children need to learn, but emotional regulation is very important. And it's a skill that we can expose children to so that they can carry on long term into adulthood.
Thank you so much, Edwin. When you're talking about the breathing exercise, for me, I knew it already when I'm an adult, especially when I was like talking to people. Sometimes you get anxiety and you do that deep breath before doing your presentation. Or if someone asks a question that is a trigger to you, instead of answering because you want to take time to respond to it, you take a deep breath. So have you been practicing this? Because I know you've been dealing with many kids and at the same time they can be overwhelming. Practically, for me, practically, yes, I've been doing, and they're very helpful. Those deep breaths, they're very helpful. Practically, have you tried it?
Yes, coach. So I have had trauma happen to me. My brother died when I was 34. He died unexpectedly. He was in great shape, a great human being. He died on a hiking trail in California. He was just turning 40. He had been 40 for about 3 months. And it was very traumatic for me because my brother and I are just 3 years apart. And so it just was a huge traumatic event. And more importantly, than just his the way that he passed away, I felt very helpless because I was in Michigan at the time and he lived in California when it happened. And so I couldn't even get to him to say my last goodbyes. It happened. It was just very traumatic for my family and very traumatic for me. And so through that experience, I have learned breathing, and I do yoga twice a week to help calm down my central nervous system, because I understand that trauma can happen to anyone. Anyone can be affected by trauma. Trauma is just defined as a hardship or any life events that impact you in a way that changes the course of your existence. And so with that, I've learned how to release my tensions, release my emotions that sometimes are internalized because I can't always express how I still feel, because it's been gone from this life for almost 8 years now, and it still affects me. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you are loud and clear now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, this breathing technique and these emotional regulation activities have even helped me sustain just loss in my family and grief. And I have to get back to it because opening up your central nervous system and allowing the energy to flow to your brain helps in multiple ways, health consciousness. And it helps, like I said, regulates your somatic system. So we have a central nervous system and we have a somatic exercises that help release the stress, the toxins, the things that are in our nervous system that can cause health issues.
Thank you so much. So, at what age were you able to start those breathing exercises? Because for me, I see it is vital for every parent to have their kids as young as they can to learn how to do this breathing exercise. Because the earlier they learn and they practice throughout their life, the better they become to handle issues.
Yes, they can start as early as 5. Our attention span as a individual, they say your attention span is as good as your age, plus or minus 2. So if you are 28 and you think you can sit for 28 minutes, it's plus or minus 2 of those minutes. So most 28-year-olds can attend to something or task for about 20 minutes, plus or minus 2, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most. So a lot of times as an adult, as we get older, we think we are attending more, but with the use of technology, the screen time that we expose ourselves to, we are decreasing the ability to sit and sustain our attention for extended amounts of time. So the younger you are, maybe a 5 can sit for like 3 minutes. So just go over breathing exercises with them, make it fun. You can YouTube videos, breathing exercises.
I don't know our
It's
network.
something they have to do every day.
Liz, you can pause a little bit.
Yes.
You can pause a little bit. There is a breakdown. There is the problem. Can you speak now? Let me hear if it's okay right now.
Okay, what about now?
Yes, it's good now. I don't know why there's that. All right, it's okay now.
Yeah, so I was saying a 3-year-old, maybe too young, maybe a 5 or 6-year-old can learn these breathing exercises, and you want to, again, practice with them, make it fun, sit them in front of like a YouTube video that shows it and models it, and those are ways that you can make it fun and make it doable for them. Yep.
Thank you, guys. Guys, this is very important. Typically, I've been doing the breathing exercises, so I know how important they can be. So if we train our children, you can train them even when they're young, like 3 years, 5 years old, and make it fun for them so that they enjoy doing it. The earlier they do it, the better. Unfortunately, I started breathing exercise at 40, so you can just imagine. So it's very important. It's very important. Guys, I hope you are writing down the question. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Farm African Kitchen. Thank you, Mercy. I appreciate you. Mr. Okeke. Mirabel, thank you for conducting this thing as a moderator. Miriam, Rose, I see you. Even if you're quiet, guys, I'm expecting questions from you. Gracie, Faith, Love, Lavaga, Jessica, Open Voices, thank you so much. Samora and Trish, I hope you have questions because you have young kids in your house, you have toddlers, and sometimes you do a lot with yourself. Do you do these breathing exercises? We need to know. Brandon, I see you. Eurydice, did I able to pronounce your name? Let me know. Pao, thank you for being here. And of course, Makeup. But thank you, guys. If I've not mentioned your name, don't you worry. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. I just wanted to mention you before I go to the next question. So guys, if you have any question, write them down. We're going to handle immediately. And if after this, and if you have a lot of pressure, like you want your question to be addressed immediately, we can also do that. Now, Elizabeth, in ABA, how do you help families move from emotional reactions to data-driven understanding of behavior without making them feel detached?
Oftentimes, families are emotionally connected with their children, so they feel that sometimes, I don't know, I hear from parents that they just won't do it for me, or if it's a skill that we're trying to teach, they are really trying to understand how the child would do it for us, but they won't do it for a family or their parent. And so effective ABA clinicians, they balance data and empathy. So it's not just, these are the treatment plans that we have for the child. These are the goals that we want to teach them. But we also want to make sure that it is something that the parents have buy-in, or that they are feeling this is what is important or a priority for their child. And then we stress the importance of analyzing what we've observed with the parent. Because once we can show the parent from a behavior standpoint, what we have observed, then they may be able to tweak something that they're doing or change something that they're doing to get a more desirable result. And so helping family move from data-driven understanding to using empathy or including more empathetic teaching or understanding means that we take out the jargon of our field and the technical language, and we break it down so that they can understand what we're saying. That's why I try to use concrete examples, real life examples when I'm talking to people. And then we also can show them how their child is improving from our data analytics side, or our understanding of data and how it drives decisions.
Can you give more examples?
Okay, so for instance, one child in school, they refuse to clean up. So the parent is like, well, we work on cleaning up at home. So I don't know why this child is not doing at school. And so we said, well, this is what we observe. So for 1 week, we go into the school and we sit back and we just take data, and we see data means that we're looking at what they're doing, we're observing it, and we're documenting ways that we're going to improve. So if we're helping a child clean up in a school setting, then we want to see what is the teacher's expectation. because maybe the teacher's expectation for them to clean up is not the same at home.
That's
So when we
yeah.
see what is going on and we see it with our own eyes, then we can provide solutions or we can provide coaching opportunities for the child and the family. And one thing that I can say, if it's a behavior that's happening at home and it's not happening in another environment, it's not being generalized. So that is a big concept in our field, but that means they're not doing it for more than just you as a parent. And if you want your child to succeed in life, they don't need to just act appropriate in front of the parent. They need to act appropriate for all adults and for all people that are taking care of them. So like when they go over auntie's house, auntie may give them, I'm a TT or auntie, I may give them special privileges. But in the end, if their mom does not want them to have ice cream after 5 o'clock, then I need to respect that, because when they go back home, they're going to try to say, well, TT gave me ice cream. I want more ice cream. So when we talk about using data and moving from data driven to making it empathetic and usable at home, you want to make sure the expectations are consistent